Money spirituality, 5 common abundance blocks, how to transcend them. What is money? Money is a touchy topic for many given we live in a world where most of us have been programmed to buy into the belief that there is not enough, and we have most likely at some point in our lives witnessed and experienced or are witnessing and experiencing a state of lack. More often than not, it is a subject that triggers emotions such as anger, anxiety, insecurity and frustration. In short, it is a form of energy manifested from source energy like everything else in this universe. Money in itself has no meaning because energy is neutral until it becomes filtered and alchemized by our thought forms. Whenever a subject draws much attention/energy from the masses, our beliefs about it assign it many different meanings, making it either a much desired salvation or an intimidating repellent, or for some, both at the same time. The purpose of this article is not to discuss the philosophical or political aspects of money. It is meant to guide you to examine, and perhaps shift your own relationship with this specific form of energy should you feel inspired. Block 1. Money is bad. I have encountered quite a few folks who react very strongly to the topic of money. Any time when we have a reaction, it means we are being triggered in a rather unconscious way, and there are underlying beliefs in an unawakened part within ourselves, the ego, that are out of alignment with our true self, the soul. The stronger the reaction, the more out of alignment those beliefs are and the crappier the feelings become. Some of the common beliefs are, money is the root of all evil, money is for the corrupt and greedy, etc. No beliefs are intrinsically good or bad, there is only one thing that matters when it comes to any belief: there is always a return of investment, and what we believe in is what we get. In that sense, our beliefs literally matter. Or transform from energy into matter in front of our very eyes if we invest enough energy into them by thinking, talking about and acting on them. We live in a vibrational universe where life mirrors back the energy of every belief we hold by sending us circumstances that match that belief. So once we are convinced in the belief that money is only reserved for those who are immoral, dishonest and materialistic, and since we are not them, our lives will automatically prove to us that in order for us to show up as the good guys, we must continue to experience the lack thereof when it comes to money. Again, there is no right or wrong when it comes to any belief, and many have discovered the joy of living off the grid. There is only what serves us and what does not serve us. The return of investment we receive from life, whether it is a preferred return or an undesired one, is not a reward or punishment, it is merely a consequence, or a reflection of a belief that we spend most of our energy on. If you are not happy with the return, it may be time for you to deposit your energy into a different type of investment by adopting beliefs that match what you are looking to manifest. You cannot want money and hate money at the same time, so be very conscious with what beliefs you are looking to adopt. Everything we think and speak reinforces the patterns in our subconscious mind, so use your reaction and whatever emotions the reaction generates to stop yourself in the track and act as reminders for you to think or say an uplifting statement that focuses on a friendly relationship with money rather than an abusive one. If I am prosperous is too intimidating and sounds fake at the moment, start with gentler ones such as I am ready to shift my relationship with money, or I am accepting friendly thoughts and ideas on prosperity. Make sure you mean what you think or say, as it is the energy that matters. If you hold a deep-seated belief that money and human decency do not mix, invite yourself to notice at least one person on this planet who is wealthy and not a jerk at the same time. It takes only one example to break the belief all rich folks are jerks, and if you can approach this topic with curiosity, with time, more of them will come into your focus because the world will always mirror back to you whatever you place your attention on. Block 2. Money is not spiritual. Money also seems to be bad news for spiritual seekers, since the core belief in many seekers is money and spirituality do not mix, possibly due to some elements from both religious and cultural belief systems that feature gurus in Jesus' shoes preaching to followers on top of mountains, as well as stories of those who abandon all material possessions in seek of spiritual enlightenment. It is also tied to the first belief: money is bad. If we lived in a reality where some facets are manifestations of source but some aren't, perhaps there is indeed separation between money, or for that matter, anything we deem unholy, and source energy. However, the emergence of increasing scientific evidence suggests that the quantum field we live in is a single universal field of intelligence, confirming the timeless wisdom from many teachers that we are all one. We can only speculate that the illusion of separation then is a part of the deliberate programming we have all agreed to inherit upon arrival in this dimension in order to make this reality which is based on duality more real. From that note, and if everything is an extension of one, it then seems feasible for us to expand our definition of spirituality so that it not only covers the pretty components that include but are not limited to meditation, yoga, pursuit of truths and acts of kindness and unconditional love that are perceived spiritually acceptable by our collective ego. Let's not forget that the ego thrives on categorizing, judging and labeling, but also everything else that is part of our daily experiences that is condemned by the ego. Neil Donald Walsh has stated many times, you keep trying to solve the world problem as if it were a political problem, or an economic problem, or even a military problem, and it is none of these. It is a spiritual problem. And that is one problem human beings don't seem to know how to solve. Going back to money, if we believe money is somehow an anomaly that falls outside of our spiritual beliefs or the oneness that supposedly includes all, and again given that our experiences always validate our beliefs, we are literally excluding the possibility of receiving the flow of that energy from our existence. If we believe we must be poor in order to be spiritual and holy, that is exactly what we will be. Money, like everything else, is energy that flows from us and to us. The meaning we give it is the meaning that it will bring into our experiences. If you would like to include that energy into your life in a non-threatening way, allow yourself to explore the idea that money is just a form of energy in a universe where everything is energy until you can accept that as the reality you live in. Block 3. I am not deserving or worthy. We have all been affected more or less by the programming of worthlessness. Given money's tremendous association with worth in today's society since everything seems to have a numerical value attached to it, it is completely understandable why we enter a vicious cycle of the manifestation of lack because we believe we are not worthy or deserving of financial abundance. The experience of lack then reinforces the belief that we are not worthy when we cannot make ends meet. When we say to ourselves we are not worthy, and we will be worthy only if. Insert whatever condition that is true for you on the line. We are handing away our power of creation. In addition, many of us are programmed to be givers rather than receivers because we are told self-sacrifice makes us noble, altruistic, loving and kind when in truth there is nothing more damaging and disempowering than the teachings that convince us we are not those things already unless we meet a set of terms and conditions set by society. When we are guilty with the idea of exchanging money/energy fearing what others may think of us, it means we are not practicing self-love. Giving our energy to others in means of loving, sharing, servicing or investing does not mean depriving ourselves of that energy, and if anything, without first filling our own cup. We will always be offering others an empty cup. There is nothing we need to do to prove ourselves to others in any way. We are infinitely worthy and deserving, and the idea of us having to earn love or worth is simply a false belief held by the ego that has gained a lot of momentum because many people have invested their energy into it. The happiest and most abundant person on earth is one who gives and receives and knows her ultimate worth. The journey of remembering self-worth is an inward one and it is tied to awakening to our true self. I have written a few articles on self-worth and if you are interested in exploring your own worth, the articles titled Overcoming the "I'm Not Good Enough" voice as well as The Art of Allowing, Give Yourself the Permission to Love You offer some insights on how to overcome issues of low self-worth. Remember, what your subconscious cannot accept as true will not manifest in your reality. If you do not believe that you are worthy of wealth, life will continue to show you that belief until it is released from your consciousness, and only you can do the work to clean it up. Block 4. The world controls my finances. Given the political and economic status in today's world where there is uneven distribution of wealth, it is so easy for us to get sucked into the reality that only a handful of people are capable of achieving wealth either because they are lucky or they resort to shady means, which reinforces the first money block belief, without realizing that we are paying for that reality with our energy because the rule we must play living in the vibrational universe is that our energy is the only currency we use to purchase experiences. This is not to say that certain things aren't happening in this world, or we need to lead passive lives in bubbles unaware of what is going on outside of us. However, if we get into the habit of constantly venting, judging and condemning those people, not to be confused with spending energy on educating others on such topics in a productive and constructive fashion, or worse, if we use them as excuses for our misfortunes, we are then wasting our energy that can instead be used to produce change for ourselves and others. Furthermore, the return of investment of constant judgment and anger is never a pleasant one. Lastly, the two opposing beliefs of luck and conscious creation cannot coexist in the same reality, so we will have to give up one in order to be the other. How do you feel about the Kardashians? How much validity do you see in the statement "there is not enough for everyone"? That reaction you've just had, if you had one, is the strongest indication of a certain belief you have that may be acting as your money block. If you believe the world is an unfair and hostile place where everyone has to step on each other's toes to compete for limited resources, life will be obligated to make that belief known to you through unfair, hostile, and lacking experiences in your reality until you change that outlook. At the end of the day, the only ones who are affected by our judgments are ourselves, because that energy gets multiplied and returned to us. Can the collective consciousness impact individual realities? Yes, for as long as we focus on and embody the disempowering beliefs shared by others, and for as long as we stay in the perspective of the ego, because all it sees is limitations and competition. The soul knows of no limitations because from its perspective, it is part of the infinite source energy that is ever abundant and expanding. Others' realities really have nothing to do with ours if we do not consciously or unconsciously choose to purchase their experiences with our energy. One way to loosen up the energy around the collective is to focus on yourself. Self-love is always the first step to every conscious creation. You are not a Kardashian, ExxonMobil CEO, or Rothschild, and despite the views you may have on them, you are only the master of your own destiny. What would you do if you had the financial abundance you desired? Would it mean that you could spend it on your loved ones and take them on the vacations they have always wanted? Could you allow yourself a few luxuries that you couldn't afford in the past? Would you use it to contribute to community building and worthy causes that allow you to make an impact in the world? Your reality is about you and no one else. And you absolutely have the power to create the life you desire without getting pulled into what everyone else is experiencing. Make that decision today. Block 5. Money is everything. Contrary to the belief that money is everything that is both good and bad, it is only one form of energy that is neither good or bad. It is one of the most common energy transfers because we have made it so, but it is not the only. While experiencing scarcity in life, many of our thoughts inevitably resemble this: if only I had the money, I could. The danger of such a thought is, first, the reason why many of us feel powerless when it comes to money is precisely because we have bought into the collective belief of placing way too much power on money, which in turn takes away our power. One wise teacher once said to me, "As powerful as money can be, source energy is infinitely more powerful." If we see money as the necessary middleman for every experience we are seeking, then that belief will become very real to us when that manifested reality demands money from us from all directions. At the same time, it will also exclude other channels of energy transfer that can open up for us because we have placed so much of our faith and focus in this one form of energy only. The thought also sends a very mixed message to the universe because it has two opposing vibrations in it. Given that our desire of having money is never about things but rather the good feelings as a result of having those things and experiences, on the one hand, we are imagining how good we would feel once we experienced the fruition of those desires. On the other hand, our vibration is lingering in a state of lack, yearning for the money we don't yet have. The mixed vibrations then become a very confusing signal to the quantum universe, which is equivalent to trying to tune into two radio stations at once. To make it worse, until we have cleaned up our other money blocks, those limiting beliefs are in the background dominating our vibration and trapping us in a state of wanting, needing and not deserving or having, and that vibration then creates a reality of more wanting, needing and not deserving or having. The art of allowing and letting go can be useful. If you can ease into the notion that source energy is infinite and interactive, and it delivers you anything that matches your vibration in the most creative ways rather than just one way, you can then allow yourself to relax into the idea that whatever it is that you have asked, it is already on its way to you without you necessarily having to figure out all the steps on how to make it happen. When you are no longer restricting source to only one channel and your vibration shifts from asking to allowing/receiving, all channels that may or may not include the money channel open up. This is why many like to practice visualization that allows them to feel as if the experience has already taken place because it lifts the vibration from the reality of no to the reality of yes. It is your divine right to be abundant in all areas in life and to be, do, and have anything you can dream of. You are born with every single creation tool you need, and you did not come here to make a living. You came here to make a life. In a universe where all versions of realities exist, can you imagine, or see that reality where you are experiencing abundance in all forms? Hold that image, and become one with that feeling until it permeates every cell and particle of yours. It is already within you. But you, and only you, hold the power to vibrate at a frequency where that desired reality can become visible to you and experienced by you, and that requires you to diligently and consciously commit yourself to doing the work to unlearn any belief that does not align with your true self for as long as it takes. It is time to release any victimhood and thoughts that make you less than who you are and step into the guaranteed freedom of choice you are born with. You are the creator of your universe and the experience of abundance. Like everything else is an inside job. Happy creating. About the author. Juliet Tang is a consciousness empowerment coach who works with individuals around the world via Skype. She began her spiritual studies at a young age and specializes in empowering those who are awakening to expand their consciousness, embrace their true power and master deliberate manifestation using a variety of coaching and healing techniques. Juliet holds a BA in psychology and MA in education, and was a social worker and teacher with a decade of teaching experience. Juliet incorporates powerful and practical tools such as visualization, NLP, reprogramming of the unconscious mind through trance work, vibrational medicine as well as mindfulness techniques into all coaching sessions. She also holds workshops on conscious creation and Reiki certification in Midtown, NYC. Operator, if you like our article, give Conscious Reminder a thumbs up, and help us spread love light. Operator.